jam-packed MMA episode of the Kick Him in the Head podcast. And as always, I am your host, Yao. And tonight we are talking EFC 134, the latest installment from the EFC out in Johannesburg, South Africa. And as always, helping me break it all down, I have with me BJ Jenkins, Brendan, and Achi, the Kraken. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Welcome to the Kick Him in the Head podcast. Kraken, I gotta tell you what, bro. You're muted.
Ah, there we go. You muted us, Bozza.
There we go, gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Good to be here.
why are you me last when I woke you up? You were dreaming, like wet dreams and all. Now
Because he's on the winning side. He knows Gift Walker's going to whip your boy.
Fuck you, bro.
It starts
and the
now.
banter has begun already.
You're gonna get flipped. Did you see the comments, my brother?
Brother, we're going to put your boy to sleep.
It's a mismatch. They're gonna hit the head. Hey, let's not talk about this. We have a whole another month to build this fight up, and surely going to build this fight up.
100%.
There is a whole month to build that fight up. The fight that we are talking about there is the fight between Faiz, the troublemaker Jacobs, and Gift, the Day Walker, which, as you know, we have one person here on the panel, Brendan Jenkins, who has very intimate knowledge of one of the camps, and Achi the Kraken, who's the King Troll. So I'm looking forward to talking about that fight. But gentlemen, let's quickly get into the card for EFC 134. That's Lino versus Chukwu. Amanda, the MadDog Lino versus Juliet Chukwu. Look, I'm going to get straight into it with the last fight of the night, the main fight on the main card, Lino versus Chukwu. We've just come off the back of EFC 133, which was Zach versus Zico, which ended in spectacular fashion. Gentlemen, let's talk about this women's title fight here. The first title fight for women we've had in a while. The women's divisions aren't very active, and now we have a very, very dominant Juliet Chukwu coming to take on the legend Amanda Lino for the Flyweight Championship. Chukwu coming down, the current bantamweight women's champion at EFC. Kraken, let me start with you. This fight, how are you feeling about it, Brendan? Let's talk about this main fight. I mean, the hype. Has there been enough hype for you? For me, I haven't seen enough on social media. How are you guys feeling about the title fight? Kraken, let me start with you.
Man, firstly, I'm happy to see Juliet back in the EFC. I saw her mooring. Who's that fun vague girl?
Dana.
Yes,
Dana.
Yes, she moored that fun vague girl, my brother. Yo. And she was the touted prospect, you know. She was the golden girl in EFC, and Juliet moored there. But hey, man, we have is it the woat? Was it the woman goat? Right. We get the woat.
One of those.
Yeah. We got the vote right here, Amanda Lino, champ herself. And funny enough, she's been trading.
Wi-Fi killing you. That's a Timu Wi-Fi.
Not me being killed by the Wi-Fi. Okay, while Kraken gets his Timu Wi-Fi up and running, Brendan, how about you? Obviously, we've got the legend in Lino up against Chukwu.
I think it's a great fight, man. I think both camps have very equal opportunity to win this fight. I think if Amanda sticks to her guns of standing and trading with Juliet, I think it's going to be a long night for her. But man, if she's smart about it and she goes and she maybe throws in a bit of wrestling, mixing it up a bit, that might kill Juliet's gas tank a bit, especially with her coming down to Flyweight.
So, I guess with that said, to what level do you think that the weight change will impact Chukwu? Because we've seen it with a lot of power at bantamweight. And like you say, coming down, I mean, you've done a lot of weight cuts. For me, Gift was one of those fighters. Every time I'd see him cut weight, I'd be like, damn, bro. How did you manage
yeah,
to
man.
get
Gift
down
at
there?
Flyweight was insane.
It was crazy.
Man, I think the weight cut, like obviously everything in your camp factors in, and it at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, did she do this cut properly, or did she leave it to the last minute like a normal cut and think that, oh no, it's just an extra few kilograms, or did she really diet down in camp? How is she feeling? Did she do a test cut beforehand? Like, can she make the weight? So there's a lot of factors that go into it, but I do think if she did the weight cut properly and it does stay on the feet, I think it's going to be a tough night for Amanda. But Amanda also, she's been in the game for a long time. She knows exactly which weaknesses to exploit. So I think if she's smart about it and she mixes it up and makes it an MMA fight instead of just a straight up kickboxing fight, I think it's going to be a good day for her.
I guess I agree. You know, the Mad and Old Dog in this instance, taking on Chukwu. I think the experience might tell here, but the amount of power that Juliet Chukwu brings, for me, is really what the difference is going to be. Amanda Lino's great. We saw her battle through her title-winning performance. But when you get hit as hard as Juliet Chukwu does, it's a different prospect altogether. And I think, like Kraken said, we've seen Juliet Chukwu tearing through her previous opponents here in the EFC. So I think I'm thinking and I'm hoping that they're going to manage through the weight cut to give us a great title fight, because that's essentially what we want to see here, is a nicely balanced title fight between the two ladies. So I think the power is going to be the one to tell past that weight cut. So I'm going to keep my prediction for now, but I'm thinking we're going to get a good title fight.
The only problem with banking on power, especially moving down in the division, I think if you bank on it, you've got 6 minutes. You've got 6 minutes to finish this fight. And if you go past 6 minutes from there, those muscles start to gas, especially if you're a big for the division. So we'll see on the night. I think, like I said, it's all for me going to come down to, was this weight cut done properly?
No, that's fair enough. Well, we'll see whether it's been done properly. We'll see how good Chukwu's camp is taking care of what I think is going to be one of the determining factors in this fight, which is the weight cut. On the odds, World Sport Betting, who do you think the favorite is in this fight? I'm sure you've got a very clear answer.
I would say, look, they've been better with their odds, so I'm going to go with Juliet. I think Juliet is the favorite on this one.
Well, what do we know? Well done, Brendan Jenkins. Juliet Chukwu is the favorite. She comes in at 1.6 decimal odds to the 2.2 odds of Amanda Lino. So the champion.
I think they're basing that off the damage that Amanda tends to take in fights, because we've seen her come back multiple times, like come back from the trenches and take it down. And I think they're thinking that the power from Chukwu is going to be, like you said, a bit too much for Amanda, especially if it stays in one of those like war kind of fights. Whereas if Amanda actually uses her brain a bit, I think, I don't want to be ugly about it or anything, but if she uses her brain and takes her down and grinds her out for maybe 2.5 rounds, then the striking's a little bit different, especially if your gas tank is better than your opponent's.
Quite true. So I think, the odds have it very interestingly. I think it is going to be a close fight, 1.6 to 2.2. Honestly, if you are looking for an underdog, Amanda Lino is not a bad underdog to take on this card. She is the reigning champion. It's Chukwu who's vying for glory here, and Lino wants to be next woman in the UFC or next woman in PFL. So she's got along the line for her, and I guess so does Juliet Chukwu, because she wants the same thing. Now, with that said, let's have a look at the rest of the card here in terms of the card that they've given to support this women's titles fight. We've got Jungula versus Seabi in the co-main. Then we've got Bembe versus Maqam. Maqam is finally in the EFC.
Fight of the night.
Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo! Then we've got Mkhwanazi versus Lekana and Mulele versus Gumbi to wrap up the main card. Fight of the night. Well, let's talk about it. We've seen Lukayo Maqam, amount of work he's done out in other promotions. He's a versus middleweight champion, and now he's come to the EFC, taking on Vince Bembe, but at lightweight. Ooh,
Was
how
he
you
not
feeling
the
about this fight?
welterweight champ?
Was it welter? Wasn't it the?
I think he was the welterweight. Oh, he actually might be the lightweight champ of versus. I stand under correction, but I think he is the lightweight champ.
Okay. Well, my bad. Lightweight champion versus. So, how you feeling about him coming over and facing who has unfortunately at this point become a journeyman in Vince Bembe? Because we know that the wins are not stacking up for him right now. His career is not what we thought it was going to be. Is he the right person to welcome a Lukayo Maqam into the Hex?
I think he's a perfect match, man. Like, I think Vince is a gamer. Like, even in the losses, like, you can see Vince comes to fight. Like, you can never count out Vince, and he has knockout power in those hands. Like, we joke around the gym and we call him Bam Bam because man, Bam Bam and it's done. So
Vince,
yeah, I
bam,
think it's
bam,
a great
bam, bam.
matchup for Maqam coming in. Maqam is a very well-rounded fighter coming out. I don't know if he's still training with Pesva, but he was training at Pesva when he won the title at Versus. So he's got decent knowledge behind him in all facets of the game, from the wrestling to the jiu-jitsu to the striking. He's going to come in with an all-rounded game. It's whether he's continued to polish those tools or not. We're going to find out on the night.
So with that, let's play a little game of who's the favorite. So who do you think is favorite coming into this fight?
Obviously Vince coming off a loss. Well, he came off the loss against Boyd. Khanyo is probably the favorite for this one, being a promotional champion, another division or another promotion. I think Mqam would be the favorite on this one.
Bingo. Bob's your uncle, you are spot on. We have 1.65 odds to Maqam and 2.10 to Vince Bembe. Vince Bembe is the underdog in this fight. If you do want to check out the odds, you can check them out on World Sport Betting. Okay, yeah, so you nailed it. I think that's exactly what the odds makers have seen. That's the same consideration they've gotten. And so therefore they have taken Lukayo Maqam as the favorite. Then in another fight on the main card, we've got Mkhwanazi versus versus Lekana. Interesting one. William doesn't tend to win, but he has, I think he got 2 wins in his last 3 or something. So
have they not
he's
fought before?
Let's just check. But I think this might be a rematch between the two. Let's give that a quick check. But it's
my
interesting
answer is always the same with the Godfrey fights. It depends on which Godfrey steps in the cage on the night. He can be really good, but he can also be really bad. And it's nothing against him as an athlete. I think he still comes. He's a gamer. Comes to fights. He's willing to fight anyone and everyone. So, and he's also had some tough opponents. But I think this is a good fight for him. I think he can come out on top on this one. But he mustn't take William lightly.
So William has come off 2 wins over Alistair Kunene and Nicholas Vermark, previously having lost to Emerson Pedro and Roberto Miyaba. So he wasn't exactly on a winning streak, but he's been putting together a couple of very good wins. And like you said, Godfrey is coming off a win against Alistair Kunene as well. He's 3 in his last 4, which isn't bad. Only lost to Rovan Dabir by triangle. So,
which he was doing well in that fight as well.
He was touching up Rovan. That's why Rovan had to take it to the ground and make sure that he ended it there, because I don't think he would have managed to take the striking from Kunene. So I agree with you. It depends on which Godfrey shows up on the night. Guess the odds. Who do you think the favorite is?
This one's a tough one. I think that they should be really close, in my opinion. I think it should be a pick'em fight, but I'm going to go with Godfrey because he's been a bit more active than William, I'm guessing.
Well, called. He has been more active. He's also been fighting out in Impact FC, another promotion. But it's 1.72 to Mkhwanazi and 2 on the head for Lekana. So if you want to pick a winning fighter with decent odds, favorite, I would go Mkhwanazi. And personally, I think the hands of Mkhwanazi will just shine through because Lekana is also a very good striker. But I think Mkhwanazi might just be a step too far. So I agree with those odds at 1.72 to 2.0 in favor of Mkhwanazi. Then next fight on the main card we can chat about is the co-main Jungula versus Seabi. How are you feeling about Sisa coming up against, I almost said Conrad Seabi for a second there. Thapelo Seabi.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just the weight that would bug me. No, man. Like, I think this is a great fight. Unfortunately, obviously, this fight was supposed to be Sisa versus Nathaniel Komana. Unfortunately, Nate got injured, so he had to pull from that fight. But I think this is a very interesting one, man. I think Seabi needs to watch out for those big bowlers coming from Sisa. And obviously, Sisa's moved camps. I think I've seen him training out with the JPB Academy, I think, if I'm correct. So he is in a camp that's wrestling and jiu-jitsu is pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. So, and coming from PESFA, he's also got that kind of knowledge behind him as well. So I don't think it's just going to be a walkover. But then you have Seabi coming from CIT, which that they're also a very well-rounded camp. So I think this is going to be a very interesting fight. And I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to back Sisa just because obviously I know him. I've trained with him. I think he's an awesome human being. But that's just like personal preference there. I think any one of them can take it on the night.
What's interesting is the matchmakers have sought fit to give them one fighter who's recently come off a loss to Kuni Lamprecht and one fighter who's come off a win against Kuni Lamprecht. So it's interesting that the matchmakers are putting them together. But out of my respect for Kuni Lamprecht, I'm giving this one to Sisa Jungula. I think you're 100% right about the bombs that Thapelo has to watch out for. But for me at least, what Sisa showed against Kuni Lamprecht is that he can also take it to the ground, work through the wrestling, and come out with a win at the end. So, I don't know, for me, that I found very impressive. But let's play Guess the Odds. Who do you think the favorite is in that fight?
I'm going to go with Sisa on this one. I think Sisa is the favorite in this one.
1.72 to 2.0 on the head. 100% we have Sisa Jungula being the favorite in his fight against Thapelo Seabi. My favorite too. I'm going with him in that one. And then let's pick up the last card on the fight. The first card on the main card. Molele versus Gumbi. Leche Gumbi. Oh, I always get tickled when I see Leche Gumbi because it doesn't look like a fighter, but man throws down. A man throws down. So we've got Leche Gumbi coming in at a record of 2-4. Tabata Molele coming in at a record of 4-3. The Glory of Torture, we know, fights out Pretoria, coming off a loss to Litle Ngamtwini. So he's not on a winning streak. However, he is 3-4, which is decent. And then we've got Nchangase or Leche Gumbi coming off a loss to Daudu Rajabu. And I think he's 1-4. So we've got two very, very different records, two very, very different fighters coming up against each other. How are you feeling about this fight, Brendan?
Man, Lecter's one of those who will fight anyone. You put a name there, he's like, I'm in, I'm sold. So you always, with someone like that, you always have to know that this guy's not scared. He's going to come in and he's going to fight his heart out. Regardless of what the result is, he has nothing to lose. And those people are dangerous. However, I'm a fan of Tabata. I think he's a really great kickboxer. I think he always puts on a show. It's always a great fight to watch. So, man, I back him in this fight.
Let's see if the odds back him in this fight. Who do you think the favorite is?
I'm going to go with Tabata.
100%. Oh, Brendan, you are batting 100 tonight. Yes, Tabata is the favorite. 1.3, so not the best favorite to pick from, versus 3.25. Now, I think those are very, very juicy odds. 3.25 for Lecture Gumbi. Because Lecture can possibly take it. Like, he's not that bad. Tabata
I think what makes it very interesting and very juicy to look at those kind of odds is they fight, like, there's a saying in the MMA world that styles make fights, and they both have a similar style. Yes, Tabata was a bit more kickboxing, where I feel like Lecture's a bit more boxing. He's more with the hands, but they're gonna come to throw down. And when a fight is is two guys just throwing down. It's a very 50-50, man. Like if I put it on your chin, I can put you out. If you put it on my chin, you can put me out. That can happen, especially at flyweight, man. These guys are gonna just throw heat, and I think that's gonna be an exciting fight to watch.
I think that's definitely going to be an exciting fight to watch. I would give this, I wanted to say fight of the night, but it's very difficult because of Gumbi's fighting style. It doesn't tend to add to excitement, but okay. I think this could potentially be a very, very exciting fight if both fighters absolutely bring it. So let's see what happens in the fight between Molele and Gumbi. Now, let's get into the prelims. That wraps up the main card. What do you think is about this main card? Let's rate it from 1 to 10. In your opinion, women's title fight. Haven't seen one in a while. Chukwu going for double championship, and then this cost to build up their main card. How are you feeling about this card? Let's give it a rating.
I think this
KFC rating.
I think this like reminds me of the card that we reviewed a couple months back, where we were like, it's not an exciting named card. Like we sitting like, oh man, those are crazy names on the card, but it's got the potential to deliver an incredible night. So I'm gonna give this out of 10 probably like a 6.5 or maybe a 7. I'll go with 7.
I think I agree with you completely. Although 7 for me means that other cards have a lot to do to get a higher rating, and this one is decent but not stellar. So I would go with the 6.5 you gave it earlier. It's a decent enough main card. I would watch the replay on Supersport. It looks like it's going to deliver some very good fights, and I think that's really what we want to see, is that everyone there on the undercard really brings it, and everyone there does have the potential to bring it. There's no one that's boring on this.
Yeah, man,
undercard.
I'm actually more impressed with the prelims that they've put together over the supporting acts on the main card, if that makes sense. Not saying that the guys that are on the prelim should be on the main card, like, not yet. I do believe like they are perfect where they are, and they are going to put on a show for the fans in the arena.
And that is an interesting thing. So let's talk about the prelims. I like this prelim card, and I think, like you're saying, none of these guys are necessarily main card fighters, so it makes sense that they're on the prelims. But these are very exciting prelim fights that they have put together. All of these prelim fights are very exciting. Which one excites you here the most?
I think the ones that excite me the most, there's a few of them, I'll be honest. Like, I think Hinda versus Mkobo, that is going to be a very interesting fight. I do believe Hinda is an amazing athlete, and like we've seen him come through amateurs. We've seen him; he had a very impressive debut. Mkobo's always here to fight. He's had those so many straight leg lock finishes, and we know about his leg kicks and that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to be a very interesting dynamic. Like I said, styles make fights, and I think Hinda is going to take it to the ground, and we're going to test Mkobo down there. But let's see. He mustn't get caught in something stupid.
Yeah, the thing with that fight is Ngobo's his record's not the best, and I mean he's like 2-7. So I don't know. I don't know.
Sometimes records don't explain the fights, like, in my opinion. Look, I do believe Hinda's going to come on top. I do. Like, I back him. But it's not going to be this guaranteed victory. He's going to have to go in there and work for it.
Look, I agree. He is going to have to go in there and work for it, but I think he's going to be able to work very effectively because of his extensive amateur background. For me, that really is the differentiator between the two, and grinding out to win. Because I agree, Ngobo is not easy to beat, even though we saw him take that nasty liver kick from, ninja choke from Ntando Zondi. But I don't know.
Yeah,
okay, well,
Nathaniel kick him in the head.
Oh yes, our favorite. Guess the odds. Who do you think is the favorite, and by how much on this one? I suppose.
I think Hinda is the favorite, and it's probably something like 1.35 1.3 to 2.8.
Okay, nice and close. Oh, Brendan, you're really good with these odds. So 1.33 Veja Hinda to 3.0 Becky Ngobo. So if you are looking for a dog, Becky Ngobo, although I don't know, I still prefer the Lecture Gumbi at 3.25 over this 3.0. It just feels more secure. But this is the EFC. You never know what's going to happen, bro.
You never know, especially when it goes to the judges.
Especially when it goes to the judges. You never know what you're going to get. Okay, then next fight on this card, I think let's talk about is one with the second highest odds, which would be Alex Suzuki versus Lodi Kanzeko. And that's the the last fight on the prelims. How are you feeling about this fight? Alex Suzuki, we saw him in his debut, a couple of mistakes. He came back. Now he's looking very strong, like a very solid fighter, coming up against who's, I guess, perennially now the Can, who's tragically being kicked down the road. Because I love Lodi Kanzeko, but unfortunately, it's been tough for him. But how are you feeling about this fight? How are you feeling about having Suzuki proving that he belongs with the top of the division by taking out Lodi Kanzeko? This fight's
like Lodi is always a crazy fighter. The first 2 minutes of that fight is gonna be wild. There's gonna be flying kicks, jump, Superman punches, spinning back. There's gonna be everything. Whatever you want to see, you're gonna see it. But if Suzuki can weather that storm, and if I'm correct, I think he trains out of PFA. So
yes,
he's gonna have a well-rounded game, and I think if he puts Lodi on his back, that's tickets for the night.
Yeah, and the odds agree with you completely because the odds there we have are 1.28 to 3.3, which I think is the biggest spread on the card. Nope, the biggest spread is actually Mulele versus Gumbi, but that's the second biggest spread on the card is Suzuki versus Kanzeko. I'm looking forward to that fight, to be honest. It's going to be a very interesting one to see how Kanzeko can possibly get the win, because I don't see how he gets the win. But
if he wins by knockout. Some crazy knockout. Spinning back kick to the head or spinning back first, elbow, something crazy. That's how he takes that fight. If he wins, it's something crazy.
Look, I agree. I just don't see Suzuki standing still enough to get hit like that. But okay. Another fight on the card is Jason McCabe versus Gaylor Sondi in the lightweight division. We are seeing Gaylor Sondi coming back and being more active than he has been, I think, in the past 2 years. He was recently in the Hex and he lost to Emmanuel Sita. He's been on a losing... Oh, what a fight. Emmanuel Sita, let's go. But he has been on a losing streak, Sondi, since 2022. He hasn't won in his last 4 matches. He's only got 1 win over Elvis Ngwanangwala in 2022. But he is now being more active. What do you think his prospects are here in this fight with his record at 3-6 coming up against what I would call, one of those dominant forces in the newly crowned debutants in the EFC? How do you feel about this fight?
Look, Jason McKay came out and put on a stellar performance. Like, it's hard to back against him. Like, he came in, it looked like he didn't fight, man. But I think it was the guys from Poch, Ntumeleng something.
Mabilo.
I think he fought him in his last fight, and you watch the replays, he looks like he knocked him out and then still Reneke choked him at the end. Like, that guy's got some killer instincts in, and I think he's going to be way too much for Sondi.
Yeah, I'm with you. So he beat Pilani Mbuyani at Knox Legacy Series out in Cape Town. That's who Jason McKay beat. And yeah, look, man looks amazing in there. I don't know if Sondi's going to be able to take him, but then again, Sondi's got a nasty right hook, just like most of the guys from Congo. Nasty right hooks.
Yeah, man, but you put someone like that on their back, and it's like a fish out of water. What people like, I don't know if they don't know it or if they just like behind, but jiu-jitsu and wrestling is such a superpower in this game. Like, if you don't know what's happening there, it's like, I don't know, wrestling a child. Like, I don't know how else to put it, man. Like, if you don't know what's happening down there, like, you can catch me with a strike and you can put me out. Like, I'm not saying that's not impossible, but if there's no catching someone on the ground, if you don't know, you're screwed, man.
And screwed he might be. And the odds there, I'm not even going to make you guess this one, but it's 1.35 in favor of the favorite Jason McKay to 2.90 Gaylor Sunday. So if you're looking for an underdog, Gaylor Sunday, I don't know.
I don't think so.
Fights, but I don't think that's a good placing of a unit or of any of your money. The next fight is Mayasi versus Gasa. So we've got Bruce Mayasi. He is now back against Andile Gasa, both 1-1 in the featherweight division. Who do you have in this fight? With this one, let's start with the odds. We've got 1.35 to Mayasi and 2.90 to Gasa, the favorite being Mayasi out of the DRC.
Yeah, man, I don't know too much about these two, but sure, man. When you got two guys coming in with similar records, it's always an interesting one to go on. If I'm correct, I think Gasa fights out of Durban. I think one of the Durban gyms. And when Durban guys come up to Joburg, that air is poisonous, man. So if it goes past the first round, then I'm sure Mayasi's going to take it.
Fair enough. Yes, he is fighting out of Durban. And yeah, that environmental change always gets the Durban guys hard. One thing that's interesting is he did lose to Ken Sekeletu, that's Andile Gasa, back in 2023. And he is a Muay Thai fighter. Ken's a beast, like an absolute beast. But we've got Muay Thai with Andile Gasa. He does have a few Muay Thai fights under his belt. And then we've got Mayati, who's fighting out of Raw Combination, who is a traditional boxer. So
stand and trade. Yeah, they're going to stand and trade. It's another one of those, man. They're going to stand. They're going to throw heats at each other, and whoever goes down, goes down.
Next fight we have is Kapinga versus Velem. Interesting fight here. We have Alex Kapinga. Ooh, I made a mistake on the odds. Alex Kapinga coming in as the underdog to Nasipi Velem. Kapinga coming in at odds of 4.0 to Velem's 1.2. Wow. Now that
Velem's been around, man. He's fought multiple like amateur fights. I think he fought versus like quite a bit as well, and very high up there against some tough opponents if I remember correctly. So I think they're giving him the experience edge on this one, and he's gonna probably come in and he's the guy who's got the better jiu-jitsu as well. I think that's what people are seeing, that jiu-jitsu is winning. Jiu-jitsu and wrestling is like kind of dominating the sport.
That's true. So interestingly enough, I wish Kraken was here, but we actually have him, Alex Kapinga, having an amateur win over Shadrach Yemba back in 2022, but having recently lost to Bruce Mayasi. And if I look at it, like you're saying, Velem has the experience. He's got a ton of amateur bouts under his belt. He's beaten Patrick Ocheme in the amateurs. So he's got a very, very, very experienced amateur background. He does have more boxing bouts than he does MMA bouts. So he's definitely going to be coming in to stand and trade with Alex Kapinga. And yeah, I think the odds are looking at the experience, definitely, of Velem, giving him such a big spread, 1.2 to 4.0. So good luck to Alex Kapinga not getting knocked out, I suppose, right? Then the next fight we have is Bota Boyka coming in up against a debutant in the form of Kinkela. Now, this is an interesting fight because I'm a huge fan of Boyka Bota. He's finally in the EFC, looking to show what he can do up against another debutant in Garcia Kinkela, who is fighting out of Angola. Now, this is a welterweight fight, so these boys hit hard. Do you know much about Bota Boyka? Do you know much about Garcia Kinkela?
Okay, I know. I've heard the name Boykaberto, and I think I have seen him fight, maybe GFC or Versus or something like that. So the fact that his name is in my head and I recognize it and I recognize him, I think I'm gonna go with him on this one. But never count those guys from Angola out. So they always have Demar Pena in their ear or Marino Kusandana in their ear. So they've got some knowledge, like decent knowledge. It's not like knowledge of just go hit him. It's you're gonna come in and they're gonna be a well-rounded athlete in my opinion. So you can't throw them away. But obviously, I'm gonna go with the known over the unknown here.
So in the unknown, we have Garcia Kinkela, who is an IMAF champion from 2023. So he does have some IMAF experience under his belt. So therefore, he does most likely have connections to Marino Quintandana, as you said, and Demont Pena. However, he hasn't fought in 2 years. He hasn't fought since his IMAF win in 2023. So that's a whole, 3 years off? Which is a very long time to be out of fighting altogether. Whereas we have Bota Boyka, who had 2 fights last year with a win at Versus. And I think in his first amateur fight, he was actually contender series, EFC, and he lost that one. So the question, I guess, is activity over experience in this instance. And the odds say that they prefer...
Experience, probably.
Experience, 100%. So they are giving it at 1.60 to Kinkela and Bota Boyka at odds of 2.2. He is therefore the underdog in this debutante scrap in the EFC. And for me, debutantes in the EFC are always so exciting. This fight I am really looking forward to because I know someone's going to get knocked out, choked out, stopped. There's going to be something exciting that happens in that fight between Bota and Kinkela.
Yeah, I agree.
Ooh, we've got Dadley MMA. Shout out, Dadley. Thank you for joining us. Sorry we were horribly late. He's got Garcia in that fight. Maybe Dadley knows something we don't know. And then the fight to start off the whole card is Deirdrix versus Mhlanga. Now, I agree with this fight being the first fight on the card. I've got Stefan Deirdrix coming in 0-2 up against the debutante in Tembani Mhlanga. This fight in the lightweight division, so very interesting to see Deirdrix back. I don't know. How do you feel about this fight? I'm not the the biggest fan of Stefan Deirdrix. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the most exciting record, but he is a very exciting fighter. He even fought in bare knuckle against P.D. Coxon for the TBK. Which weight class was this? Bare knuckle championship. I think it was. I don't remember. But he lost that
Probably
fight. He's also probably welterweight. But now he is back. He is back. 0-2. How do you feel about him? And how do you feel about
what I can say about Stefan is he comes to fight. He's one of those Secunda boys who don't care who's across from them. He's like that lecture Gumbi kind of guy who like he'll take you give him a fight, he'll take it. Coaches like you fighting next week, he's like, I'm in, I'm sold. So I think people like that you always have to watch out for. Yes, the record doesn't reflect that, but you have to watch out for someone who has nothing to lose and someone who's ready to scrap. I don't know much about his opponent. I haven't seen or heard of this guy, but obviously you cannot count out any fighter. So on the night, it's going to be interesting to see if Stefan can bring that grit and that determination and that willingness to fight on the night, and if that overcomes whatever the other guy brings to the table.
So what the other guy brings to the table is a 14-12 boxing record. Oof. So he's got extensive boxing experience.
Another scrap. Oh my God.
Another scrap, because we know Stefan also boxes. So these boys are about to go toe-to-toe, blow for blow. I don't see any kicks coming. I don't see any takedowns. I don't see any grappling. They're just going to throw at each other and see who lands.
See, I don't know about that. I think there might be a spanner in the works because Stefan's coach, Cedric Doyle, is a smart man. He's got a brown belt. I think he's brown belt. Yeah, brown belt in jiu-jitsu. So he's got good jiu-jitsu knowledge and he's coming from a good jiu-jitsu system. So I do believe that Stefan will have jiu-jitsu knowledge. Will he use it? we'll have to see on the night. But he does have it.
So the odds don't quite agree with you. They're going with the 4-12 boxer in Mhlanga at 1.5 to Stefan Diedrich's 2.4 odds. So Diedrich's here is the considerable underdog. They're valuing the boxing experience of Mhlanga, which is interesting to see from the odds standpoint. In the chat, Dadley says, "I don't fight, I moor." Stefan Diedrichs. That's a quote. He also says, "Stefan gotta go for the takedown and sub this dude to have any success. Bro, watch out for the game plan. Watch out, the game plan might be to get this down." He's echoing your sentiments, Brendan. He's saying if Diedrichs can take this boxer to the ground, that he's got a very good chance of actually winning this fight, winning his first MMA fight. That's going to be very exciting to see if he can get it done, or if Mhlanga has any experience with grappling, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, takedown defense, or any of that, or whether it's going to.
Does he have like which gym is he fighting out of?
Let's check. So we've got Mhlanga fighting out of Gweru without the gym being specified, but he fights out of Zim.
Zim, okay.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see if Diedrichs can like if that is the game plan and he does come in and successfully enact the game plan. We all know that jiu-jitsu will overcome the boxer if he can put him on his back. But I don't know, if sometimes fighters get in and they're like, you know what, actually I'm gonna put you out.
True. Well, we'll see which of the game plans happens and which of the game plans actually manages to overcome which. And that is the odds of the picks for your Fight Night EFC 134 happening this coming Thursday. Just a quick one, Brendan. Who is your money on? Who would be your dog of the week if someone is looking to put money on an underdog to just blow out their bet and make sure that they can get the maximum for their money? I'll just read the quick main underdogs. We've got Diedrichs, Botha, Kapinga with a 4.0. He's the biggest dog on the card. We've got Gasa, Sondi, Ngobo, Kanzeko, another big dog, 1.28 to 3.3 in his fight against Alex Suzuki. Then we've got Tabata Mulele and Gumbi, with Gumbi being the underdog. Lekana, the underdog. Bembe, the underdog, the 2.1. Then we've got Seabi and Lino. So who would your dog of the week be?
Vince. I think you can't count out Vince. I think that power is insane. And if he puts it on your chin, if he blitzes forward and catches you, you're going to sleep. So I think Khanyo needs to be awake. I do believe he'll get it done, but I think he really needs to be awake with Vince. You can't count Vince out of anything. I mean, he put out Adrian Sanchez.
In no time with the Bam Bam Blitz. Oh, the Bam Bam Blitz. Yes. That's a very, very interesting dog pick. I'm gonna go. So this one is tricky, but I think he might just be able to just pull it out the fire because of the luck that sometimes comes with these sorts of fights. And we saw his training partner, God knows in Ndlovu, pulling it out in his last fight as well. There's something very resilient about those guys, and I think the resilience is going to show through in this fight. So I'm going to go with Lecture Gumbi. I'm going to go with Lecture Gumbi as my dog. He's got odds of 3.25. So, if you put him into one of your parlays, you can maximize there because he is a very, 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 very strong dog, despite coming up against a challenge like Tabatso, the glory of torture, Molele. And into the fire throws Dadley his two dogs in Amanda Lino and Thapelo Seabi. He thinks that those two are bang for your buck. Amanda Lino with the 2.2 odds and Seabi with his 2.0. If you're looking for dogs, those are Dadley MMA's dogs of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here on the Kick 'em in the Head podcast. That was the prediction show for EFC 134. Brendan, will we be seeing you at the event this coming Thursday?
No, I won't be there on this one, but I'll definitely be at the next one.
Awesome. We will probably catch each other at the next one. You will be able to catch me doing a live watch along for this card, for the main card, watching the entire main card and screaming my lungs out, kick him in the head! And as always, Brendan, if anyone wants to meet you, where can they find you on the socials?
Man, you can catch me on Instagram. Down below, you see BJJ Jenkins. Just add a 22 at the end, and you'll find me on Insta.
Amazing. And to everyone who is watching, if you're watching live, you're watching on playback, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Join us on Kick Him in the Head for all things MMA, all things EFC. And Brendan, until next time, don't forget to
Kick him in
the head!